Hello there and welcome to the fundamentals of tokenization. This is the module 1. It is going to be a course having 5 modules. I am Chinedu Jamike, the director at Libertas Alpha Academy, and I'll be taking you on this course, and whether you like me or not, you're going to be encountering my face on several different courses. So this is an introduction to the fundamentals of tokenization as a concept related to the normal internet, the internet that you and I use every day, and assets. So let's dive in. Now we must consider the world as a physical space. The world consists of a physical space which has several different essential things that we may need or we may not really need, right? So we can categorize everything that is in the world into assets and liabilities. So let's begin today with assets. Now, what is an asset? Assets are valuables that individuals and organizations desire to own for the competitive advantage and utility that they provide. So if we are going to be very casual today, we may want to think of what an asset is in our lives. An asset may be a human being, a relationship, right? An asset may be a house. An asset may be a car for an organization to handle logistics. An asset may be a relationship, like I must well say, and so on. Then we also consider liabilities. Liabilities are the counterparts of assets, and they basically represent physical resources that act as obligations or financial burdens. So if I'm going to talk about liabilities, very well at the top of the list, we're going to have relationships, can be liabilities. We're going to have things that take away money from you maybe every month and don't really add back to you. You know, some people are liabilities, right? Then we have the normal liabilities such as your car. For somebody who doesn't use this car for profitable things, it takes from you gas every day. We also have your cell phone, can be a liability where you don't use it to generate revenue for yourself, and you're just stuck in the cycle where you're funding data and you're using it for non-essential stuff. So why are we considering assets and liabilities? We're considering this because we're talking of a concept called tokenization. We're talking of a concept called tokenization. Now, if we're going to focus on assets, then we'll be looking at a concept called tradability. Now, because an asset is something that people want to own, because an asset is valuable, it may change hands for several different reasons. Somebody may want to trade what they currently have to get something else. Another person may want to get that asset because they can make a profit out of it. Another person may want the security that that asset provides. So let's use a house, for example. And a house is an asset that provides security. Now, why does a house become tradable? Why does a house have to move from one hand to another? This is because somebody else wants to benefit from the value. So somebody who may be a real estate player can work on the processes involved in making a house come into reality, building the house, then brings it to the market because they know it's an asset that needs to move from one hand to another because of the security that it provides. So this is where tradability comes in. Assets like houses, shares, and businesses are frequently traded in marketplaces where the exchange happens. Now, we have some other assets such as academic certificates, which represent value but are not sold. So you see that when we're looking at the concept of tradability, not every asset is tradable. We'll discover more about these standards as we go into the course. Right. So How does this concept of tokenization, assets, tradability connect with our today's internet? One thing we'll notice is the internet is not necessarily a product. The internet is a means to an end. The internet is not an end in itself. The internet is a means to an end. The internet provides a platform where people can network, where people can carry out commerce, where people can carry out education. The internet has transformed marketplaces, creating global access to opportunities, transactions, and borderless business environments. This is why we are confident to say that the internet is a global village. So somebody can be in Nigeria, where I am currently, and you're carrying out business with brands in the US. Why? Because we have the internet. I mean, you as well are engaging with the Betis Alpha Academy today because of the power of the internet. So now we have magnified the internet. The internet is very important. It's very important to interact with valuable things we call assets. All right. Now we must define tokenization, since we have successfully created the bedrock for which we may consider tokenization.